enter an expense, credit card or debit card expense, using the bank feeds in QuickBooks Online. You're going to go to the banking menu, then banking. And once you connect your operating checking account, business checking, and your credit cards, the feed, if you will, literally expenses you've made the day before or payments, income too, it's going to be both, are going to come in, whatever cleared the institution the day before are going to come in during the night. And you're going to see them in here in these cards. Like here's the checking, forget about savings for now. I got the MasterCard. Let's look at that because that's probably more pertinent to what you're doing. It is easy to link an account. You click on that and you go through the steps to connect to your MasterCard or checking account. You're going to choose how much data you want to bring in based on time, last month, a week, whatever. And then you're going to see all this stuff in here. And then tomorrow you're going to see more stuff. It's not yet in the register. So any kind of transactions that you do in real life, once they clear, the credit card, in this case the MasterCard, are going to show up in this For Review tab. I have 7 to review. So it's going to be money spent or money received. Now, there's a different view you can change to or switch to if it makes it easier. And you just go to the gear icon, switch to business view. You might want to do this. I'm just going to show you so you can decide, or you can just leave it in accountant view. I'm used to accountant view, but you might prefer business view. Right, so gear icon, switch to business view. And this might be easier. We're still looking at the MasterCard, right? So you got checking, savings, MasterCard. We're still focused on the MasterCard here. And you're still in this For Review tab. None of this stuff has been put in the register yet. It's come in through the MasterCard credit card feed. I get stuff from March and things like that, right? So I just haven't done it yet. Sometimes it'll find transactions you already have in the register that you've entered using the expense form or something like that. You just confirm that it's a match. You already have it. And then some stuff you need to review. So like Lara's lamination, let's go in there. I mean, this is where you can review it, and here's where you can choose the correct vendor, and hopefully you already have them in your list. If you don't, you can just go ahead and add it on the fly. That's what I typically do. It's a vendor, right? And vendors are going to show up, your payees, if you will, they're going to show up in the description field. So whether this is a debit card expense, well, that would be in the checking account, but this is a credit card expense, right? Payable, MasterCard payable. So you're going to choose the right account, and it's just a drop down for this, and we'll just say it's promotional expense or something. If it's related to a customer or project, you can tag that. You can even make it billable to pass it through. Right? These fields can also be turned off in settings if you're not doing that. And you can put in a memo. You can also create a rule so that every time something from Lara's comes down through the MasterCard payable feed, it'll make sure it goes to that same account. But this is just working the transaction, literally adding the expense from the feed. Okay, so I have the right account. I have Lara's lamination there, and I click confirm, and that adds it. Clicking confirm adds it to the register. And Qubit will remember that for next time. And now I just have 6 transactions to review. So this business view might be better. I'm going to go back to accountant view so you can see me do it just the normal way. I really do prefer this view, but that doesn't matter for you. You have to decide. I like that it's the date. The description's usually the payee. Category or match. In other words, if it's already in the register, it's going to say one record found in the action column because that's relatable to other areas of the program. So if it's new, I click add. If it's a match, I click a match so it's not duplicated. That to me is just a simpler way to do it. So I do appreciate the accountant view, if you will. Now let's go to checking and pretend it's like a debit card expense because you're going to do that sometimes. Right? You rented some equipment for a job or whatever for $800. Same kind of thing. You click on it to open it up. And then you have to find the vendor. In this case, it's not in the list, so I'm going to quickly add it. But you'll probably see it there. And then you want to go ahead and choose the appropriate account. QBO will remember this next time, or you can create a rule and fill out all those fields so that QBO will always remember it. Okay, and you can put in a memo if you want, etc. And look, the action isn't confirm, it's add. Right? It's just going to add it to the register. To me, that just makes a lot more sense. I click add. Now that's in the register. The goal of the feed, and I explained this in another video too, is both your income and expense from the checking account or the credit cards, obviously credit cards would be expenses, and the purchases you're making, once they clear the institution, they come into this banking area. And this is where you can set up rules for auto categorization, or you can just come in and work this feed every day, a couple times a week, to then add it from here to the register. And this is kind of more automation piece to get the data in instead of having to go to Plus New and expense or check or deposit. Instead of having to fill that out, you can do it from the bank or credit card feed. And then everything you quote unquote put into QuickBooks from here or add it is in the Categorize tab. This is the one we just added. And you can exclude personal stuff too if you want. You might see something in here that's wrong, check it off, and then go to exclude. It moves it to that excluded tab where you can then just blow it out, right? Click delete. It's like it never happened. But remember, stuff in full review, that's limbo. That's not yet in the register. And you need to either add it or match it to something already in there. Add, it's never been in the register before. You're going to add it now. Match, it's in there because you used some form to do it, and we're just matching to something you entered like 2 or 3 days ago. Finally came in through the credit card feed, right? But if you're not in a hurry, wait for the feed. You will see revenue and expense here, and you can add it from here. It's a great dashboard to enter transactions from.